Hello everyone, welcome back to Black Moon Coven, and you are watching WitchCast. So this is going to be a series all about the hot topics, the controversy, anything related to the craft that is not directly the craft. So books, movies, TVs, anything like that that is not directly witchcraft. So today's episode is going to be a pretty sensitive and pretty controversial topic. It's going to be about witch hate. So if you think that witches are all hippie loving nature spirits, good loving for everyone and there's no drama in the witchy community, you are definitely wrong. There is a bunch of drama, there is controversy, hot topics that we butt heads on, which is natural because we're only human, So there's going to be so many different paths and we're not all going to agree. That's an obvious thing. So today we're going to talk about witch hate. So, let's talk about it. Some groups that get a lot of hate in the witchy community, which is unfortunate and it breaks my very heart. Because witches shouldn't, bring each other down. We should bring each other up. We should support each other no matter what your practice is, no matter how far-fetched it is, or how far it strays from the norm of witchcraft, which is saying something. We should support each other. There should not be any witchy hate, but unfortunately, there are some groups in the witchcraft community that do receive more hate than others. So we're going to talk about those groups today, and we're going to encourage people to kind of understand where these groups are coming from and build them up instead of tearing them down. So the first group that gets a lot of hate is males in witchcraft. And I know that's pretty shocking, and I know a lot of males probably are like, oh, I don't really get that much hate. But especially on social media, I see males get a lot of hate in witchcraft because it's typically a female-dominated, it's not a religion, but it's a female-dominated path. It's a female-dominated subsection, I guess. And, males do get a lot of hate for it, which they shouldn't, because male witches have been all around since as long as female witches, if not longer, It's just that media and history and everything focuses on the female aspect of witchcraft. And there's also the paths that glorify, the female power and the feminine power in many of the paths, and a lot of the paths treat us equally, and that's how it should be. We're equal, men and women, witches or not, we're all equal. And if a man wants to study witchcraft, he should be able to without freedom of judgment and everything else. So yeah, males get a lot of hate in the witchcraft community, not outrightly, but a lot of people think they're either gay because they practice witchcraft or they're doing it for, the attention of women, which might be the case, I don't know. But the fact is, given the benefit of the doubt, if they want to study witchcraft, then that's their own prerogative, okay? Male witches exist, deal with it, all right? Especially in this social media modern world. Why can't we have male witches? They have been around since as long as we have. Accept them, nourish them, bring them up. Don't bring them down, and especially other men, okay? Especially other men who are not in the witchcraft community. Support your fellow man, all right? If he wants to go into witchcraft and be the spiritual person, let him do that. Why can't he do that? I just feel like that is really unfair, So there we go. Another group that gets a lot of hate in the witchcraft community, and it shouldn't really, and this is a hot button issue. It bothers me to no extent. I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups, as part of a lot of aminos as well, and I've seen this over and over. Facebook groups are a little harsher, I'm going to say, because you're allowed to say whatever. But the amino groups, you are kind of more restricted on what you can say because fear of banishment. Now, however, this group really, it pains me to see what they go through, witchcraft or not, So the group I'm talking about is the transgender community, okay? So in witchcraft, there's the argument, okay, that it's strictly male and female, doing rituals, deities and things like that. And that's where the opposing side comes from. that you can't be transgender and do witchcraft because of the ritual aspect and the deity aspect, and there's only male and female and blah, 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 which is not true. Don't listen to that. It's a horrible misinformation of anything. A quick Google search will tell you that there are, transgender deities. There are gay deities out there. There are deities with no gender at all. There are rituals that you can make yourself. You don't have to go by the traditional form of witchcraft, which is, mind you, ancient times when there was no transgender affiliation. So you have to make your own as you go. The deity aspect is complete bullshit, okay? There are male and female deities, yes, but there are also mixed deities as well. So don't believe anything you hear. Google search anything. Trust me, it comes up. Okay, there's deities in multiple, millions and millions of cultures. Okay, don't believe just because one person says you can't be transgender and you're a witch. That's bullshit. That's crazy. It's totally rude, and it's totally one-sided, one narrow-sided viewpoint. Okay, don't believe that. That is total just craziness. Okay, you could be whoever you want to be and be a witch. There is no religious association. There is no gender affiliation in witchcraft. You can be whatever you want to be and still call yourself a witch. Okay, there are deities. There are male, female, non-binary, no gender, all genders, whatever. Do a quick Google search and you'll know. And even if you are a witch, you don't have to follow any deities, so it doesn't really matter. I get really heated on that topic, but so don't listen to it. Don't listen to the doubt and the bullshit, really, because there isn't any in witchcraft. You can do whatever you want. There are no rules. There is no affiliation with anything, religious, gender, behavior, whatever, nothing. You could be a witch and be whoever and whatever you want, okay? Another group that gets a lot of hate is the Therkin and Otherkin group. Okay, I don't know too much about this subgroup, but I do know a lot about the hate that they receive. So the Therkin and Otherkin group, I'm not going to go into what they believe because I don't really know that much myself. I do know that they believe that their soul is not entirely human. If I'm wrong, correct me, please. But so they get a lot of hate because they obviously, are against the norm in witchcraft. So they believe that, they're part dragon or they're part demigod or whatever else. And they get a lot of hate for that, especially with the deity aspect, because a lot of people worship deities and they feel it disrespectful when other people are thinking that they are a part deity or part demigod or whatever. But that's none of your business, really. If someone comes to you and they're Therkin or Otherkin, respect them just like you would any other witch, because they are any other witch, okay? Just respect all witches. No matter where they come from, no matter what they're doing or what practice that, they're pursuing. Respect them, because who knows, you might need their help, you might need their advice, you might want to be friends with them. Just respect any witch that does anything, because there are millions and millions and billions of paths out there. You don't have to be this one thing, In media, witches are all perceived the same. They're all female. They're all, most of them are Wiccan. So that's another thing, but that's for another video. So, yeah, that's what media portrays us to be. Female, and then one strict path of witchcraft, because they don't really know any better. Obviously, why would they? So I'm just going to say this again and again. Don't believe anyone who says there is only one way to do something, because there isn't for anything. That doesn't only apply to witchcraft in general, but it applies to anything in life. There is no one way to do anything for anything. So the next part that gets a lot of hate, the next group and the last group, is the Christian witches group. So this group gets a lot of hate because I kind of get it, not really, but I kind of do. So Christians are the reason we are so hidden, you know. It's not their fault, you know. It's a whole ancient thing. It's a whole ancient rivalry, and it's always gonna be there, you know. But Christian witches exist, okay, and you have to accept that as a witch, or if you are against Christianity or anything else, you have to accept that there are people out there who are Christian and are witches as well, because witchcraft has no religious affiliation. So you can be whoever you want to be. You can be Christian, you can be a Buddhist, you can be Lutheran, you could be a Jehovah's Witness and be a witch, because there is no religious affiliation with witchcraft. You could do whatever you want to do. Now, Christian witches get a lot of hate because of the whole, you know, witch trials, and a lot of our ancestors burned because they believed in something that they weren't supposed to, and stuff like that. And it's like, put that behind you, all right? It happened millions and millions, not millions, but that happened a long, long time ago, and has no basis in modern life. I mean, no one's getting burned at the stake now. I hope not, you know? And so if someone wants to be a Christian witch, that's totally their own prerogative, and that's totally their own thing. Witches should build themselves up, okay? And build other witches up too. There should be this support system, because, I mean, when you really think about it, witches make up like this much of the population. No matter what type of witchcraft you practice, we're still like this much. Okay, so it's us against the rest of the world. So we have to band together, close ranks. You have to band together and support your fellow witches, no matter what they're doing, no matter what path they're pursuing. Respect, okay? Because they're a witch as well. No matter if they're a Christian, otherkin, theirkin, a male witch, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. You have to respect your fellow witch. Just because it's just a common decency rule, you know? Like, why would you say that to someone? And if you guys don't believe that there's all this drama, blah, 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 join any Facebook group on witchcraft. There is just so much hate sometimes that goes around. And even if someone just asks a simple question, sometimes people get really annoyed at beginner witches, which I guess is another group that receives hate. And I don't understand it, okay? Beginner witches, they're gonna be asking a lot of questions, obviously, because it's overwhelming, it's confusing, it's a whole nother thing that they have to learn. It's a whole ancient practice that they have to learn, and they don't know where to go. So they're gonna be asking questions to more experienced witches. And when I see people ask questions and then they get met with hate or rudeness, or like, oh, you have to do this, a lot of research to become a witch. And it's like, yeah, obviously they're doing their research. Maybe they're stuck on something. Maybe they need to ask a question. Don't be so not closed-minded, that's not the right word, but don't be so restrictive, you know? If someone comes and asks you a question, answer it, you know? Why not? That's probably part of their research, and probably part of their, maybe they don't get it. Maybe they don't understand something. You know, it's part of their learning. So don't be so closed-minded. Don't be so restrictive. Be open and be responsive. Be upright. Be positive. Support your fellow witch. So no matter if, you know, you're practicing hoodoo and some other witch is practicing, you know, Draconic Wicca, don't be negative. Be supportive of that other person. Even if they're like completely out there. You know, they're doing crazy stuff. I don't know, they're doing crazy witchcraft things, and you feel like it's impossible, or you feel like, okay, they don't really understand witchcraft or whatever. Maybe to you they don't, but to them it's real. Just be supportive, be uplifting, be positive, treat everyone with respect, especially your fellow witches, because these are your brothers and sisters, okay? These are like your brothers and sisters. You know, we're all part of the same community. No matter what we practice, we're all witches. So I feel like there needs to be more respect, and there needs to be more uplifting behavior instead of shouting people down. I see a lot of hate come from really just random sources sometimes. Sometimes it's the older generation that really puts hate on the younger ones, and I feel like that's wrong, especially. Witch to witch, it really grinds my gears when I see another witch, you know, diminish another witch when they put her down or him down just because they practice something different, or because they do something differently, or because, you know, their practice might be a little different than yours. And that's gonna happen. The witchcraft is free to do whatever you want to be. So that's gonna happen. We're gonna butt heads. We're only human. So just treat everyone with respect. And that's a common rule of like everyone, of decency, of human nature. So just treat everyone with respect, and then you will get treated with respect, and it'll be just really nice going along all together. So that's basically the video. This is my first WitchCast episode. So if you have any other topics of controversy, of hate, of hot topic, hot button issues, or just about books and movies and things like that, which we will go to reviewing and things, put that down in the comments below. I want to hear you know, your thoughts on the subject of witch hate. I want to hear, you know, other hot button issues that I could talk about on this WitchCast, which will be every Saturday morning. And it's just a little talk show. It's just a little place where I can talk my feelings out. So be kind, respect each other, respect your fellow witches, respect your fellow human. That should just be the basic rule. Witch or not, respect. Okay, so this is basically the end of the video. Hopefully everyone enjoyed my first episode of WitchCast, and if you are new here, subscribe to the channel for more WitchCast episodes and more witchcrafty uploads, things like that. So join the coven and subscribe. Follow me on all the pagan and witches aminos. Follow me on Instagram now. The tag is down below in the description. And until next time, have a beautiful rest of your day.